Hi, good evening. Welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. I wanted to touch on our problems with our trucks. We just seem to be going through that time when we're having a lot of trouble. We took the red truck, the little red, in today, and we considered I had to get someone else to drive the truck in because we were busy doing something else, and it was given to the mechanic. It sounds as if everything's coming apart in the front end, so the instructions were, please, if it looks like it's got a bushing metal to metal, renew it. I don't care. Renew it all. Do it all. If it's got 10 bushings, then put 10 new bushings in. So it had already had 4 bushings put in, brand new, a couple of days ago, but that didn't seem to have done it, so it was put in again. Now, I obviously have among my subscribers, our subscribers, I have mechanics, people who probably, if they were here and staying as guests, they'd be crawling onto the truck and saying, oh, well, there's the problem, and they would be probably Western trained and know exactly what they were doing, and might even be exactly familiar as one of our subscribers, Steve, is. He knows these trucks backwards and often gives very good advice. Haven't heard from him for a while, but I wanted to clarify so we got the red back. Still doesn't sound right to me, and it's one of those things we're having the whole area out the front of Nanai's house is going to be laid in concrete, and we're having it laid with a good 4 to 6 inches of concrete so that it will take loaded trucks delivering materials so that we can get on and do various projects. So that and the rest of the road, or the path down to the bridge, will all be the bits that aren't done at all, they'll be done, and then we're going to patch in some of those places where we're having problems, which is where it goes around a steep corner. There's a couple of places where it needs to be infilled. It can't be 2 strips of concrete. So that's going to be done. Right, now, if that were the case, I'd probably be under there myself looking around. I know the difference between metal against metal, which is not bushed up, if you excuse that expression, and I would look at it myself. Not particularly interested in doing that, but needs must. Well, for those who say, I'm a mechanic, and if I was there, I would have that done in no time. And here's what you do. You buy all the relevant parts, and then you just fit them. It's simple. It's simple for where you are, and we are not where you are. So we are working in the situation and the environment that we are in. What else could we do? Can I work where you are? Well, I'll just pop the truck over to where you are, 4,000 to 5,000 miles, and we'll put it in your drive and you can fix it up for us. It would be wonderful. It would be wonderful if some of the help that we've been offered in terms of if only I were here, and we appreciate that thought and that intention, but it's just not possible. So we're stuck with the help that is available, and right now that is our friend Nestor, and we give him the instructions to, and on the best of his ability, he listens to what I say through Beth, who describes what she believes I am saying and what she is hearing, and then Nestor goes on with that information. Now, I would think in a Western situation that what would happen is that regardless of what ever the customer says, I mean, a customer might come in, and a lady who has no more idea about say a choke than being strangled, and why should she? Why should he? Why should anyone? Everybody to their own job. Well, I think that in a Western situation with a good mechanic, what would happen is that the mechanic would listen and he would hear it saying bump, bump, squeak, squiggle, knock, knock, crash. And he would say, where's that coming from? And you would say, it's coming from under here. And he would go from there, but he would not take any of that for granted. He would look at everything and look at where things were worn, and he would have his own checklist of how to check out a front end. We don't have that, so it's going back again, and we're going to try to find out what has happened with the Big Blue. Now, some of you got a little bit snippy about, well, here he is in the blue again, and obviously he can't drive, and it's the biggest joke ever. I'll listen to good common sense suggestions given in a good heart with a kind mouth, and the rest I'll delete. And so if you're on the cusp of making remarks which may actually be founded in a great deal of information, but don't sound too nice, I like nice, and that's the way I like it, okay? I advocate being nice to people. I'm not happy with the fact that I've taken my truck to Nesta twice and it's still not fixed, but I don't go down there and start insulting him. So if you find that you're tempted to do that, watch out for the warning signs. It's a little bit like if you're very clever with cars, you'll recognize if it needs new brakes. You know, you'll hear them squealing and the brake pedal goes down a little, and these are all warning signs. Well, your warning signs are that you'll find that your comments are being deleted, and if there are enough that are delete worthy, however long you've been with us, you'll be blocked. So, going on to the last encounter where I was stuck down, that was when we had got back the blue truck from Nesta, and with great faith, believing that it would get us home up to the hill, we took on that first hill. Well, it didn't go so great, but it did get up there, so we were encouraged and optimistic, and we proceeded. But it failed, and of course, where did it fail? In the middle of a mud patch. So now we are stuck in the middle, and people, our good subscribers, are saying you need mud chains, you need this, you need the piece of wood tied to the... It wasn't because we were stuck in mud, it was because the 4x4 was not engaging. And not just that, but there was something a little more serious. And if you are saying that that situation could have easily be gotten out of, as somebody did, by 4x2 drive, two-wheel drive, sorry, you're wrong. So we got help from home. The Superman team were knocking off work for the day, and they're on their way home anyway, so even those who were not on their way home got on the bikes and came, and with help from our visitor at the moment, Victor, we actually pushed the thing forward. And after a few goes and clearing the way and me putting on the gas, it actually engaged, and out we went. And so we then turned around, went back to the church where we had the little red waiting, and we took the red and we left the blue there. Then I had to make some important decisions then, because really it's a big hassle not being able to get home in the blue. And for those of you who think that it's easy to just get everything done. Maybe you are much better at doing a 16-hour day than I am, and yet getting everything done, you know. Well, I'm still trying to find time to do some guitar practice, and I can't do that. I don't get time to do any drawing anymore, or any painting, or making any furniture, or things actually that I love doing and am pretty fair at doing. Well, maybe not the guitar, that's a bit of a plink plink plonk noise at the moment, but I would like to put some time in on it, and I simply don't have the time. And if Tracy is looking at this, if Tracy, our friend, our Aussie explorer, is looking at this, confirm how much time we have left at the end of the day. We're lucky to get home before dark, which places us around 5:30, 6:30. And then we come in and we might just be able to answer and field some comments, and then it's a call for dinner about 7:30. 8:30 sees us back in our house because we go and eat at Nana's, and Beth might have time then to start an upload of some videos. She'll edit some, upload, and then she crashes on the couch in front of the TV, and that's her relaxation time. And I try not to disturb that. Well, I do disturb it. I say, honey, you're actually asleep, why don't you go to bed and sleep properly? And then I come out and I do some videos, or I answer some comments and do some emails. And I'm looking at the time now. We've been up since 5 this morning, and it's now 10 o'clock at night. And here I am, and I'm doing a video. Now, this is not a plea, as one subscriber said, for sympathy, because just so happens that I love what we do. Today, you couldn't pay to have the pleasure of what I did today. Today, because the Blue works perfectly well in two-wheel drive, I took the Blue along to Tulang school, and there a load of beautifully dressed, wonderful looking kids showed us what their dress rehearsal was like, and we made a video of it. And they then wanted some help to go to a taffy where the fiesta is being held and where they were in competition. And all of these incredible, beautiful children graced me with their company in my truck, with their drums and instruments and all made up, and Beth and I took them to the fiesta. Now, we had thought, as anybody else, probably anybody that's normal would have thought, well, wait a minute, we can't do that. In fact, that was our initial thing, is we better text Vidala and tell her that we just can't do this because we have to get the Blue fixed up. Well, thinking about it, I thought, there's a load of 80 children who are depending on us to do as we promised. And what we promised was that we would put the Big Blue at their disposal and take them to the competition. Now, a lot of them had to go and pile up in far too many into a tricycle or several tricycles and go down that way, but the bigger instruments and everything we took in the truck, plus about, I don't know, 10 or 12 kids in their wonderful uniforms in the back of the Blue, and on the driver's seat next to me, and we went very carefully and dropped them off. And then when we dropped off the first load of kids, we came back and we loaded impossibly the rest of the stuff, which you will see in the video on the fiesta. So I couldn't let them down, and I told Beth, I think that we'll use the truck in two-wheel drive, and we'll do what we said we promised we would do, and then we'll honour our agreements. Now, that means that if I can't get the truck fixed in one day, tomorrow, then I'm going to be doing my Sunday driving job. And that is the same thing again. I pick up a little girl we call Baby Jane, and I take her to church, because even though she's had the cast off, she doesn't yet have the confidence to walk on that leg that was broken. So we go down there and we pick her up and we make a special case of her, and she and her, let me see, the last count, it was 2 sisters and probably about another 3 or 4 kids who have seen Baby Jane being lifted into the cab of the Big Blue and said, hey, why don't we do that? That's what they did. So I think I mentioned in a video that after dropping off so many churchgoers close to their place in a taffy, I found actually that 12, I think it was 12 of the kids that were in the truck were actually just there because they liked driving in the truck. How could you sell a job like that? I couldn't. No, nothing. Nobody could pay me enough. So, that's my little update now on trucks and 4x4 driving and driving in the mud. And let me just put that one suggestion which comes up the most. It comes up the most. One, we can't afford right now, and I don't know where I could get it done. We can't afford to have the back wheels put on a locking mechanism. So we can't have a locking pair of back wheels, which we would love to be able to have, but at the moment it just doesn't seem feasible. And the other thing is, and this is what most people think would do it, is to have chains on the wheels. There's a very good reason why this won't work. Sure, it'll get us out of the mud, I don't doubt that, and I don't doubt that other solutions that have been suggested, I don't doubt that they would get us out of the mud. But if it involves putting stuff on wheels, what kind of state will I be in when I get to the bottom of the road? I'd have to take chains off, I'd be covered in mud, because it's nice, thick, double cream consistency mud where it is there. So I have to try to work out better ways of doing it, which will leave me looking at least presentable, because we're not driving 4x4 for fun, we're driving to get where we need to go to help people, and to help ourselves, of course, like we need groceries sometimes. So, don't have time to do anything, don't make any excuses for it, and we don't make any complaints. That's life on our hill. We are blessed beyond measure, and that's the way you should think of it. This is A Foreigner in the Philippines. Thanks for looking in. Please like, comment, subscribe, and if you think it will help, and I think it will, you can share this. So, bye for now.